Hi guys, and welcome to Matt Bayeski YouTube channel. Just giving myself a Palovite cleanse because I need it this morning. Reacted last night to a message from somebody that I care for very much in a very negative way, and I thought, you know what, I need to tackle this once and for all. And I've been working on it for many years now, and I think it's really good that we talk about it. And I think it's important that we talk about it. And the reason why is because we channel certain information that we didn't even realize if we look at those reactions that are causing us self-sabotage, causing us sadness. And this morning I feel a little bit sad because I let myself down because I reacted. So I'm gonna now explain to you and try and take you through the process of self-healing by acknowledging your faults. And it's something that can take a matter of moments or bloody lifetimes. So why do we react when people tell us what we should and shouldn't do? Basically, what that means is when people say to you, do this, do that, command you to do things, or anything like that, you know, because I'm unemployable, right? It was known from day one. Everybody knew that I was unemployable. And the reason why I was unemployable, and let's start from the very beginning, shall we? When you're brought up into a world, you have a mother and father, or a grandma and granddad, or siblings, or you might have been born without a mum and dad and you were brought up in a home. However you grew up from a baby, you will have been conditioned to certain ways and behaviours of your parents or the people around you. And how they behaved then causes you either positivity and seeing life in a beautiful way, or fear. So for me, I was brought up in a family of a mother that allowed me to express myself, to be free. She, to a certain degree, obviously, but I think I was a good kid. I don't think I was a bad kid. I never did anything to make my mum cry. So she laughed most of the time at the silly things I did because I tried to make everybody laugh. Even as a little kid, I remember making people laugh and wanting to because it made me happy. But when my dad came home, he had rules. And because he was in the army, he was a second lieutenant in charge of 100 tanks in the Second World War. So you can imagine what shit he went through and what he saw and had to do. So he brought that home. That's all he knew. So I was in complete conflict, and you'll probably understand this. A lot of you will know this. And the conflict is when dad comes home, we now have to live in fear, meaning that we had to have rules and we knew we couldn't do certain things, even though I did. And then the most brainwashing of all is school education. So, and even now when you're out of the womb, they can't wait to get you into education, to brainwash you even younger. And we're seeing that more and more. So at school, we are told what to do. And I can't really say now what schooling system is like, but I can tell you how it used to be. If you made a mistake, you were punished. You were mocked or laughed at. Whether it was the board rubber thrown at you because you're an idiot, whether you're gazing out of the window because you really don't want to learn the garbage that they teach you, which don't help you at all in your later life. That's how I used to think. How is this ever going to help me? I had dyslexia and dyspraxia, which nobody knew then, which meant that I had constant fear in the classroom that we were going to have to stand up and read individually. And you wouldn't believe the suffering that I went through in school. And every time the teacher said my name, I would absolutely shake with fear. One, because I had to read, and or two, they were asking me a question which I wouldn't know the answer, and I would be called thick, idiot, stupid, waste of space, all of these names, okay? So you get the gist of it, right? I was brainwashed into believing that I was an idiot, that I wasn't worth living, that I was useless because I didn't fit into the system. And basically, the system is exactly like that. The system makes you stupid or makes you think you're stupid if you don't fit into how the system wants you to behave and work. So the system has a certain way of bringing brainwashing people into line, into the cog, into the machine that works perfectly to feed the elite and the rich. That's how it works. So we are mere sheep, but we have to learn, the sheep have to learn how to walk properly and to go into the right direction, which is straight to work, do your work, pay your taxes, and then come home and be a good person. That's it. That's all you should do. Then you feed the system. You see how it works, right? So that's the system. So the system created me, okay? This is how I am now. But I am not that what they created. I am more. And I have to now unlearn, clear, get rid of all of those fears that were basically who I was then. I had no option because I lived in that. I rebelled, I fought, I was at the headmaster office most days, I was whacked, beaten, but I never actually gave up in my truth, in my knowing that the schooling system was wrong, most of it anyway, and that it was a waste of energy. And I realised that it was killing me and my creativity that I had so much of. I had so much creativity I wanted to share, I wanted to love, I wanted to help. And the system doesn't allow you to do that. It doesn't want you to share, love and help. It wants you to be in your box and behave yourself, and that's it, and do nothing more. So now we go on to today. Why is it that I still hold the same memory when somebody asks me, but may ask me in a forceful way, or tell me that I've done something wrong, or say something, that I react in exactly the same way? You see? So, is that me? Or was it the conditioning of a horrible system and of a man who was conditioned in the same horrible system that then I hold within me? So in truth, we're all work in progress. We're all working in motion to become and clear the better person and to heal ourselves from our past. So always remember this. A lot of the times when people react to you in an angry way, it's normally because of their upbringing, of how they were treated. And normally when you react badly to something, it's because it is a memory of what happened to you. Now listen, it's not always just about school. You can be in a relationship with somebody for 6 months and they can do the same thing to you. Now what that means is that they can feed their fear onto you, because that's basically what it is. It's an energy that is blasted at you all the time, and before you know it, you become it. There's a saying that I often hear, that if you say a lie often enough, people will believe it. And that's the same with people's indoctrines, their belief systems, what they believe is true. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do it. If you say it enough to somebody, they'll believe it eventually, because that's kind of like how we are, unless we are rebellious and strong and we say, no, that's wrong. So a lot of us will give way and just believe. And if you don't believe that, all you need to do is go onto YouTube and type in, there is a video of a girl who walks into an office, and all the people who are sat down in chairs waiting for an interview like she is, they're all actors. Anyway, a bell goes off and everybody stands up, and she looks at everybody because they've all stood up, and they all sit down again. And then 3 minutes later, the bell goes again, and they all stand up. And she's looking and she doesn't know what to do, and they all sit down. And the bell goes again, and I think the third time the bell goes, she stands up too. And basically, when everybody left that office and she was the last one in there, somebody new comes into the office who isn't an actor and sits down next to her. And the bell goes off again. She stands up. The woman next to her says, "What are you doing?" She says, "Well, everybody else was doing it." And then she sits down. The bell goes off again. She stands up. And then the third time, the new lady stands up too. And that is so interesting to the psychic, the psyche, the psychological us, how we behave and how we believe in somebody on something, that if more people are doing it and their conviction is true, that it must be right. So we must do it. So we're so easily led. But you know, I have battled all my life. And am I right in battling and saying, don't speak to me like that? Am I right in saying, don't be like that? And am I right in reacting in a negative way and getting angry? No, I'm not. That is not right. Being understanding and not reacting in a negative manner is ultimately what we strive to be. And I really believe that we can overcome these hurdles in time, but we have to work on it. We have to ask ourselves every day, why am I reacting the way I'm reacting? We need to see, like I've just done, and look back at my youth and realized why I react this way. Now, it doesn't fix the problem because you've been so used to reacting this way, but what you can do is recognize it. And you all know by now, if you recognize something within yourself, you're one step away from healing it. But if you don't recognize it, you'll live the rest of your life in that issue. So today we are talking about reacting negatively to when people tell you what you should and shouldn't do, or you've done this wrong, and we react with fear because we have the memory of how we were treated as kids, or by a past love, or by a friend. And we have to learn to let that go. And I am working on that every single day of my life. I share with you the truth that I am not perfect, that I do not wake up happy every single day, but I do wake up happy most of the time. In fact, in general, if I look at a scale of like 1 to 10, it's normally on a 9. And a lot of the times when it's that 1% I don't, it's because of somebody else's reaction towards me. And I think this is where we all go a little bit cuckoo. We all go a bit wrong. We all say, you know what, leave me alone because you caused this reaction to me. I'm happy when everybody's away, leave me alone. Or, you know, it's only you guys that are causing me this issue. And I think that's an excuse now. I've realized that's my excuse because we're here to live with other people. Yes, we do have a choice to whether to surround ourselves with these people who keep giving us this test to see if we can overcome it. It's a good way of looking at it. But I think in truth, if somebody reacts to you and you react back in anger, ask yourself, did they really mean that? And if you said to them, look, I react this way because you send me messages which are really, to me, negative, and then they'll say, well, actually, no, I didn't really say that in a negative way. You read it that way, or the way you heard me, you've got me all wrong. I meant it this way. So we have to learn to listen and to ask, why did you do that? And did you know that the way you said it, you made me react that way? And then they come back to you and say, well, actually, that wasn't how I interpreted that myself. I thought I was just... And then when you go, oh my God, it must be me. And then when you realize it is you, like it was me last night, I realize I have to work on that. And that's just part of the journey. And you know what? That's why we're here. We're here to elevate our understanding. We're here to be more compassionate. We're here to heal from our past of how we were abused mentally, physically, and emotionally. We're here to become the stronger. And the only way we can do that is find our stillness. Find our moment where we don't react and knee jerk. Just let it be. And there will be days when you are stressed because so much is happening in your life and you will react. But hopefully those reactions will become less and less and less, right? And that's what we work towards. And that's what I work towards every day. So yes, last night I reacted. And I deserve that. Silly me. But good lad for talking about it. Good boy for being truthful and honest and saying that you made a mistake and that you reacted. Good boy for looking at the reason why. Because what you've just watched now is what I do after something like this happens. It's just that I've talked to you about it. And normally I talk to my higher spiritual self. And in truth, that's what I've just been doing now. And I've been channeling that very energy of certain memories that I believe our loved ones in spirit help us and give us certain signs and understandings and memories to be able to say, oh my God, now I understand why. And that's one step to becoming stronger. But never forget, you have to go through these feelings to become stronger than them. You have to go through these feelings to look back one day and say, I conquered that. And that's the journey. That's what this is about. So never get upset with yourself because you are quirky, different, sharp, angry, jealous, bitter. All of those things are feelings that you need to embrace and feel, and then learn how to dispel them because of certain reasons why you feel that way. The insecurities, the fears of life that we feel, and all of those things. And that's just another expression of how to heal from whatever the circumstances we've been through as children. And we could go deeper and look at past life too. And that will be for another day. Okay, it's been lovely talking to you guys. I'm going to call this how to recognize and self-heal ourselves. Use this video as a daily practice to whenever you feel sad, angry, upset, you react in any way, and sit down and listen to the way I went through this and try it yourself. Don't be frightened of looking at yourself. Don't be frightened of knowing that you are wrong. It takes a stronger soul to know that they are wrong than to say I am right. I would prefer to always know that I am and can be wrong at any time. And that way I'm more open to learning and healing and expressing myself in different ways and listening and being open to everything, I guess. So always be open to that. Never be frightened of saying I'm wrong and I can be wrong. Never be frightened of that. Get ego out of your life. It's no longer needed. So have a great day, guys. Thank you for subscribing to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. Let's have a look. The lovely Brandenburg here. Okay, it's beautiful. Look at that gorgeous Brandenburg. Oh, okay, guys, I'm going to give this away to somebody today. Underneath here, it doesn't matter what you say, I'll just pick out the one which touches my heart, which spirit says, hey, that's for them today. Okay, because I love you all. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day and don't ever be frightened of working on yourself. It's the most healing moments of your life. It truly is. So from my heart to yours. Bye, guys.